This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
Good morning and welcome to the Really Big Football Show. It is Sunday the 19th. I have with me Keith Engel, James Martin, and of course Jack Hirsch. I am BA. I am your host. How is everybody doing this fine Sunday football morning?
Oh, yay. Let's go.
We're just making it through. Everybody got a cup of coffee with them? I don't know
Jack
what you do, Jack, in the morning. Jack is automatically percolated. I don't know.
Jack.
Well, it's also baseball season, even though I'm kind of watching it from the sidelines, despite what my shirt says. I'm getting
Hold
ready.
on, Jack. Hold on.
Getting ready for next season.
There you go. So am I. I think a majority of us are. So we had college football yesterday, and we had quite a few upsets. Good morning, Danny. And good morning, Michael. First of all, let's start with Friday. The Louisville Cardinals, 24. And the number 2 Miami Hurricanes, 21. What happened, Keith? What happened besides the 4 interceptions?
This is an annual occurrence for the Miami Hurricanes. They just decide not to show up one night, get behind 14-0, can't run the football. They were soft. They've been playing great defense. They didn't rush the passer enough. That they weren't physical enough on defense. I knew Friday morning when Jack picked Miami that they were probably going to go down in flames Friday night. I should have just realized that. So there's a lot of factors involved here. But the fact is, again, it's funny, people get on Marco Cristobal, but this has been going on with his program with Manny Diaz, with Mark Rick. They'll have these teams that just look unbeatable. I mean, there was an argument to be made they were the best team in the country until Friday night, and they throw up this stinker that makes you. And Carson Beck likely took himself out of any Heisman consideration with 4 interceptions. And even as bad as he played, if they'd come back and won that game at the end when they had a reasonable chance to do so, he throws a worse interception. And don't tell me it was tipped, because if it wasn't tipped, the guy would have not had to dive for it. It would have been right in his hands. He might have gone for 6. So he doesn't play well, and somebody's got to pick him up. This is the second game he's had that was kind of a downer. They won the first one because they ran the ball like crazy. But okay, you have to win these games. And this is college football, though. 4 top 10 teams lose yesterday. 9 top 25 teams lose. A lot of them played each other. But
why do we even have college ratings to begin with? We don't have it in professional sports. We don't have it in the NFL, for example, where teams are rated going into the season. It is so meaningless because they change week to week. So what does it matter? It's where you wind up at the end.
Well, yeah, I mean, personally, I think it's done for fans and it's done for shows like this. So we have something to talk about, right? So we have some measuring stick of people. Whether it's accurate is totally subjective to me, because a lot of these teams obviously don't play each other. Conferences are different. So there's really no way to know. And I've said all year, I don't know who's good and who's not. I know Ohio State's good. Pretty sure about that. Pretty sure about Indiana. I really don't know about anybody else. I feel like they could all lose on any Saturday. And Michael Knighton Edwards, who's with us today and big follower of my show, and he does some articles that I post. He wrote an article about just a couple of weeks ago about the preseason poll. Preseason polls are ridiculous. polls, once we get to when we do the first college football poll here the next couple weeks, now we're getting relevant, right? But the first month, maybe even 6 weeks from what we're seeing here, it is kind of a joke, Jack, because they just go up and down. It's crazy. It's crazy. There have been, maybe I'm exaggerating, 40 teams in the top 25 so far this year. I'd have to go back and look, but I'll bet you I'm not far off.
I'm going to say I saw that Danny Fuller said that he called you both called Miami the convicts. They find a way to lose. Let's not put the convicts down. Convicts were actually really good. When they were the actual convicts in the 80s, they were a much better team than this team. I like Miami right now, and I just think I picked them to win. I thought it might be a very close contested game because the Cardinals aren't that bad, and I think that's and honestly, that's probably their last hardest game. They can run the ship the rest of the way and get to the playoff. They should.
Yeah.
And with that said, Carson Beck was the number one passing accurate quarterback in the ACC. And I was telling Brian this earlier before the game, and as you were telling me that, he said, well, not so fast. I mean, he threw a couple of interceptions already, and then, of course, he throws 4. That's kind of scary for playoff time. I got to see him do a little bit better than that, man.
Well, Miami doesn't even control their own destiny now. I mean, in the ACC, because of the unbalanced schedules and whatnot, they don't control their own destiny. They don't play Georgia Tech, for instance, who's undefeated in the conference, so that hurts them. I was rooting hard for Duke yesterday. I mean, if Miami were to win out, even if they missed the championship game, they might get in. I'd find it very hard to keep them out. Not making your conference championship game in a 12-team playoff, it makes it hard to make an argument for you to get in if you're not in the SEC or the Big Ten. So, and a conference that's Danny's word, by the way, not mine necessarily.
Yeah, top 10 or top 25 upsets include number 17 Vanderbilt beating, unfortunately, James. Number 10 LSU Tigers 31-24. James, since that's your team, what did you see wrong in that game?
We cannot run the ball, and what I've noticed about our defense, which is really good, any type of quarterback that can run the ball is a dual threat. He's a problem. That's Diego Pavia. Pavia, is that you say his name?
Yeah.
He's a problem. Don't get me wrong. Posing for the Heisman in the end zone is kind of a little bit much there. But I mean, I just thought that. I mean, yeah, you're a good quarterback, but I don't think he'll be up for the Heisman. But I got to give Vanderbilt all the credit in the world, man. They look really good, and I think they can run the table themselves. This is the best they've been in program history for them. And this is Harvard of the South. They're not supposed to be playing football like this, and they're doing really well, man. And so my question is to the coach for LSU, Brian, man, what's going on? I see Nussmeier played a better game this game, and the tight end Trindez Green is legit, man. They should have been playing him. I think he was just hurt in the beginning of the season. He's legit, but we don't have a running game, and I think that's the biggest thing. And you see a play here and there. Caden Durham ran for 51 yards and got to the 2-yard line, and they had to settle for a field goal. And that's some of the problem. I think the biggest woes is probably their offensive line. They lost like some major starters that are in the NFL right now, including your guy, Will. What's his name for the Patriots? The rookie.
Good question.
Your left tackle.
Will Campbell. Sorry.
Will Campbell. Yes. They don't have guys like that right now. And then the one guy got hurt, so their offensive line is pretty shaky. And it doesn't get any easier from here. They can still get LSU. I don't think they're going to have any opportunity to get to the playoffs this year.
Wasn't the problem the inability to stop the run yesterday? The Vanderbilt quarterback, Diego Pavia, was able to take off.
They eventually found a way to contain him, but in the beginning, yes. I mean, that was the problem. They couldn't stop the RPO, but Chambliss led the way. The kid for Trinidad Chambliss and for Ole Miss, he showed what he laid the groundwork in showing what you can do to this defense. And this is what they did. They couldn't contain him. I mean, they got good outside linebacker play, but they weren't in a position, and he found a way to they're not finished. Yeah, I agree.
Next guy to get $50 million to go away. Brian Kelly.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I don't know if they can afford it.
We'll find a way.
Just to see what the season holds. I mean, again, it's kind of the same thing that we do with the NFL, as we kind of judge teams before, it's really time to judge them. And I think college football is the same way. It's just
we've
a little
seen
bit
6 or
sooner.
7 games now, though, Brian. I mean,
And they got Alabama and Texas A&M who are flying high right now. So I don't know.
What are they, 5-2, and you're talking about firing the coach? I mean, who's getting
because the expectations.
He's there.
First of all, you just spent $20 million. Look, weren't they talking about firing the guy at Ohio State when they spent all that money in the beginning of the season?
The expectations went through the roof when they beat Clemson in the first game of the year, because people thought Clemson had a chance to win the national championship. If they knew Clemson was going to be as bad as they've been, and they lost again yesterday, Clemson, the expectations wouldn't have been as high for, LSU.
They paid him $100 million. They haven't been to a conference championship game. I don't believe, unless I'm mistaken, James. I can't remember when they've been with Brian Kelly.
They went once. They went one time, and they got beat by Georgia. Yeah. Yeah. But with that said, though, they've had offenses that have been elite.
Yeah.
But they never had a defense. Now you got a relatively above average defense with an elite secondary, and your offense is squandering away. It's like one thing and the other. It's like if you don't have bad luck, you don't have any at all. So I just think the situation right now is just it's going to get tough if they don't win those crucial games. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think they are. Alabama looks like they are in control of their destination, and Texas A&M is, even though their defense is a little scary, they're the rest of they can win out. And I know we haven't talked about them yet.
Yeah, Danny makes a remark, but Brian Kelly is a big name, a power name, and it's hard to move on from these power names, unless the team is completely fell apart, like with the Penn State situation with James Franklin. You don't move on from a coach like Brian Kelly. If he wins 2, loses 1, wins 3, loses 1, it's hard to move on from him.
If they, listen, I'm not just to go to the Franklin, the situation you're comparing it to. I'm not a Franklin fan, but they just pulled the plug after 3 bad weeks. I mean, he'd had 12 good years there, and that's, to me, to fire him in midseason didn't make any sense. But he was going.
It did or did not? It did not.
I don't think not midseason. I'm not a fan of his. Right? He's a good coach, and he's going to get a job. And he made clear yesterday he wants one.
And you get the feeling, Keith, correct me if I'm wrong here, with James Franklin, we might get a situation going forward where they might actually they'll see his value after he left, all those double-digit victory seasons. Going forward, if they're struggling the next couple of years, they're going to think maybe we shouldn't have moved on from him after all.
Well, I don't know if that'll be the case. I think history will treat him better because he did lead them back from a very bad time. Bill O'Brien was a stopgap after the whole Joe Paterno and Jim Sadusky thing there, and that program is at the bottom of the barrel. And O'Brien started that process, and Franklin came in there and did a really good job of elevating them back to the top of college football. He just couldn't get them over the top, and that's going to be held against him. But I think he'll be looked at better, I think. Yes, to your point, not quite. I think for getting them back to that elite status, but not to the top.
But he
going to coach.
Wasn't he 1-17 versus top 10 teams or something like that?
Well, close to that. He was 4-21 against top 10 teams, and 1 in 14 against top 5 teams. That's
They went to the semifinals of the national playoffs. I mean, come on.
Oh my goodness!
today.
The difference is this is and this is where it deviates from the NFL. College is a lot different. It's you haven't if they hire you and you're a big name and you won't get it to a national championship within a specific time allotted by the school, basically, then yeah, you're out of here. So, and the fact that Franklin had all those, I mean, he was a great coach. To Keith's point, even though he doesn't like him, but he was a good coach there. It's
He's
just
not a
that he
bad
couldn't get the
person.
job done when it counted.
And again, but like vitriol for Franklin is only about not being able to win big games. That's it. He's a good football coach and he's a good guy. You saw yesterday, this guy did. I've never seen a guy go through what he went through in a week come on national TV like he did yesterday on ESPN. And he showed class. Of course, he wants to protect his $48 million, I think. But I think he had a nice thing.
$49 million. Wow.
Keith, I'm about to pull your card on this one, brother. I watch your show and I listen because it's a great show. But I've heard you talk about James Franklin and his play calling and how archaic it was. Again,
I'm on both sides of here. I think it's too bad he gets fired, but he should have been fired, right? I mean, it is a tough situation for me. After the fact, I feel bad, that the guy got fired and he had a pretty good track record. He belongs. You know what? He did a great job at Vanderbilt. Be a great fit for him. Stanford. The Stanford position would be and he'd make them a good football team again. But who knows? We'll see.
And speaking of Vanderbilt, the coach there could be an option for Penn State.
He could be, but he's a Vanderbilt guy. I don't know that he's going to leave. They might try to wrap him up. But again, you're not going to win consistently at Vanderbilt the way you are at Penn State.
Correct.
Matt Rule is getting that job. We know that. Penn State. I mean, they're going to throw all the names out there. They can't say it, but Matt Rule, by far has the inside track.
I'm not sure that they're going to want him that for the coaching job he did Friday night. But I've been a Matt Rule fan.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be the next guy. I wouldn't want to be the next guy to come in there because we talked about expectations. Their expectations aren't going to get lower just because we're starting over. You're going to get like a 1-year grace period, and then you better start competing for championships or you're going to be in trouble right away.
The ghost of Joe Pa still looms around that building. And even with the scandal and everything, come on, the record. Penn State was a powerhouse. Let's not get that twisted. For years, for decades.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and then Penn State, didn't really go out there and wow anybody. After their coach was fired, they went out there and lost to Iowa, which was probably pretty much predicted anyway, since their season is a big tumbling down.
And they lost their quarterback too. You got to remember, Bazellar wasn't playing great, but he's out for the year. That doesn't help you. Yeah. So.
Number 9, Georgia beat number 5 Ole Miss 43-35. It was a back and forth game until the fourth quarter. It was a really good game. They showed out. Ole Miss. You know what? When I woke up, when I was watching college football and yesterday, and I was watching a bunch of games, and I was looking at my picks, I was like, I looked and it was 1-5. I was like. I'm not winning here. I'm not getting any further anywhere here. I'm not understanding this. And one of the ones I picked was Ole Miss over Georgia, but obviously
you got to start cheating, like your title says, B.
Yeah.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't winning. You got to figure out how to cheat.
Right. Follow up on your. What'd you have? You had 4 wins yesterday.
Yeah, 4 wins.
Alan Terrell is. I don't know if Alan doesn't pop in. I don't think here, but Alan 10 for 10 yesterday. Congratulations.
Ooh. Holy man, I was at the number 1 spot yesterday, and then I dropped down to 4. That's just how easy it can happen at the last couple of games.
You gotta love that ESPN randomizer where the games they throw at you have like no rhyme or reason. It's hilarious,
right?
But let's go back to Georgia, man. Gunnar Stockton, Georgia has in four SEC or three SEC games. They have been behind in the first half.
Yeah.
And so they come back and won 3. They were down 4 in SEC, including Alabama. But Gunnar Stockton, 12 of 12, 135 yards and 3 TDs in the second half, man. And he ran for 1 for 22 yards. this kid was an elite quarterback in high school, so I think he's going to have some opportunity to start showing himself as a real good player, a very above average player, and he maybe put himself next year in the contention for Heisman. But Georgia, look, they're not the same Georgia we've known the past couple of years, but they look to be still in the running themselves. So that's a big win for them.
Chambliss, this was an interesting game. Great number by game day. The number of people he played in front of yesterday were more people than he played against in his entire career at Fair State, where like Division III. He hadn't played in front of that many people cumulative in his whole college football career. That's a tough spot to go play, and he played pretty well. So I like this kid.
And we had some other small upsets. We had number 25 Nebraska to go down to your point there, but Matt Rule go down to Minnesota 24-6. Then we had UAB beat number 22 Memphis 31-24.
Cool story in that game, by the way, Brian. Chris Mortensen's son, Alex. Chris Mortensen from ESPN.
Yeah.
His son Alex is the interim coach there, and that was that's a big upset actually. UAB has been bad, so didn't mean to interrupt you. Just want to throw that in there.
Oh, you're good. No. Also, Arizona gives Texas Tech their first loss of the season, 26-22. And Texas Tech was ranked number 7 in the country.
Yep.
We had some scares. We had number 16 Missouri outlast Auburn 23-17 until overtimes. We also had number 21 Texas outlast Kentucky in an overtime 16-13. It seems like Texas is just holding on to me. I don't know what's going on with them, but they're just holding on.
Kentucky can be tough at home, but you can't be if you have the talent that Texas has, you can't be going overtime with that team. You just can't.
Yeah, imagine had Texas lost yesterday, they eke out a win in overtime, 16-13. The talk this morning, even though I'm mentioning his name now, it'll be all about Arch Manning. He didn't play well on balance. I know there were a couple of drop balls. He'd make a big throw now and then, but on balance, I mean, he just didn't look good.
And that's like what it's like, 3 or 4 of his games he hasn't looked good in. And that's kind of, he's going to stay another year. He's not coming out.
Well, yeah, maybe these college quarterbacks we're critical of, they really need to play a lot more. And they need to grow, on the job more or less. And we don't give them that amount of time because they're in a must-win situation, a must-look-good situation right off the bat.
It's a great point. He threw 90 passes before this season. We talked about Chambliss. He played full time. What I know is at a lower level, but he was playing all the time and has had a lot of reps. So it makes a difference to Jack's point. And Arch, I still think at the end of next year, I mean, it was never for sure thing he was coming out anyway. And he'll be back. And I think by the end of that, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, the high train needs to cease. Again, I hate to beat that dead horse. Just give this kid. He's one of those players that need the reps. I mean, which most players do. It's only so often you see some guy that comes out as a true freshman and just lighten things up. And it's rare. It's just a rare thing. And so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's probably more than likely going to come back next year. Texas will probably need him too because I don't know who's behind him. So with that said, give him an opportunity to improve.
Yeah, agreed.
Another top 25, Danny already alluded to it. Number 13, Notre Dame beat number 20 USC 34-24. I thought USC was going to give more competition today. Notre Dame.
Well, they did for a while. It was an entertaining game until, early in the fourth quarter or midway when USC. Sorry about that, Danny. USC turned it over, and Notre Dame scored back-to-back touchdowns. It was a pretty close game up till then.
And a 100-yard kickoff return, right, Keith?
Yeah, yeah. USC's a lot better this year than they were last year, and again, they're still a work in progress as well, but they're much improved.
But Notre Dame is better than those 2 losses they had at the beginning of the season.
Yes. And by the way, this rivalry can't go away. Next year could very well be the last game of this rivalry, and this is one that cannot go away. They got to figure this out.
Yep, I agree.
Number 6, Alabama 37. Number 11, Tennessee 20. They're starting to get into that groove.
I owe Trey Simpson the biggest apology of anybody in the country. I ripped this kid pretty good. 5-star quarterbacks don't stay in one place to play 5 years later, but he's good. He's probably the Heisman frontrunner right now, I would think.
Ty Simpson?
Yeah.
I think so. I would. After Beck's performance the other night, I got to believe Ty Simpson is probably the front runner.
Well, let's just say the folks of Lower Alabama are saying "Roll Damn Tide" now because they look really good and they're scary, like you said. I just don't know what to do with that because, again, as an LSU fan, I don't have any confidence in them going to Alabama and beating them.
I mean, who would have thought Alabama would bounce back like this after losing their opening game? I mean, we thought they were maybe a little long in the tooth. We questioned whether they'd make the playoffs, whether a new era was starting at Alabama, whether they were starting their decline. And I mean, it's remarkable what they've done since.
Especially as bad as Florida State's been since then. I mean, they won a couple of games against nobodies after that game, but they've lost 4 in a row now and lost to not a good Stanford team yesterday on the road, but that's not a good loss.
And number 15, BYU beat number 23, Utah, 24-21. That was a really good game. I caught some of that because I was pulling for the Utes. But, again, it's not working out for me in college football.
BYU's a very solid football team. That was a good game to watch.
Yeah.
One of the women who used to work for me, they live in Utah. They're season ticket holders at BYU. So she was messaging me yesterday, all excited. So congratulations to them. They played well.
Yeah, you're going to mention, I know you're going to get to the Ohio State game. I want to ask this. I got the feeling Ohio State deliberately did not run up the score, tried to keep it down because they had full control of the game. Did you get that feeling against Wisconsin shutting them out?
I did a little bit, and part of that is Luke Fickell has some ties to the Ohio State program, and I think that might be why they took their foot off the gas a little bit. Somebody else they might have beat by 60 yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Keith, I have a question for you. Considering where Texas A&M is right now, they're undefeated. They're the only undefeated team in the SEC right now. And they have, Missouri, LSU, and Texas remaining on their schedule. And
Sanford, right?
Yeah. So and they can run the table easily. I could say, not a hard way, but I mean, I think they could run the table and go undefeated. But my question to you is Marcel Reed a Heisman candidate at this point?
As we speak today, I don't think so, but maybe he should be. I think because he hasn't had the exposure and the hype that some other guys have had. He's kind of flying under the radar, similar to Pavia. He could be sneaking up. And those are two guys I would watch for late surges and maybe getting close to at least be finalists for the Heisman. I like both those guys. They're playing really good football. Reed's been I don't know if I want to call him a surprise, but he's been he's been a pleasant surprise down there in Texas A&M. They're a really good football team. Mike Elko's a really good coach, and he's shown it pretty much since he got there. And beat a good Notre Dame team, obviously, this year too. So he's got some really good wins.
And yesterday, a college record was broken by Curry College running back Monty Quinn. He rushed for 522 yards, setting an NCAA record for all divisions on just 20 carries, averaging 26.1 yards per carry.
Okay, so what school did he play for, and what bad defense did he play against?
Really?
Curry College is the school he plays for, and Heidelberg U is where he did his damage to. He scored 7 touchdowns as well.
I want to nominate him for the Heisman.
Not Heidelberg U. I'm sorry, Nichols College is who they beat.
Oh, Nichols.
Brooke Cardell Brooks' 465 yards was held since 2013. He's the one that plays for Heidelberg University. So there you go. I mean, breaking records. I know it's a Division III team, but I mean, it's a record nevertheless.
I mean, it sounds like a Madden game for sure. I mean, how much did he average, you said?
26.1 yards per carry.
That's video game number. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, and of course, the same thing. I don't mention too much about the ones that are the college ranks that win, that are, that usually win anyway, like Ohio State, to Jack's credit. They beat Wisconsin 34-0. Nobody thought Wisconsin would win that game. Anyway.
I got to tell you something funny, guys, and I was going to mention this to Keith, because we're doing all this talking, and to me, it completely slipped under the radar. I wasn't paying any attention. I'm thinking, oh, Bill Belichick, what did he do this week? I didn't realize he played Friday. And I actually just Googled it now. I'm ashamed to say. That's how it had a lack of newsworthiness. And they lost 21-18. I mean, maybe Keith could fill us in on that.
I watched the first half of
2-4 now.
I watched the first half of that game, and I felt I had given myself enough torture, and I went to bed because that is just a bad football team. Cal's not any good. It's a tough to make that trek across the country, but that's what these leagues have set themselves up for. So I don't have any sympathy for that either. But this thing is just spiraling out of control.
But they're going to play a couple of good teams. Wait. North Carolina is going to play a couple of good teams. If Belichick could get one big upset at the end of the year, we're going to hear the way they're turning the program around, and some people are going to buy into it.
Well, that's not going to happen, so you're not going to hear that conversation because they're not beating any of those teams. This is a bad football team. Very bad.
Outrageously bad. All right. To the mode of the NFL, and we will be starting, London has a game this morning. We have the LA Rams taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Basically, you can call them the London Jaguars because they seem to play very well there than they do at home. Well, in past experience, they're doing pretty good this year. I'll give it to them that way. And we're going to start with Keith here. What's your prediction? And the Rams got a 3.5 point favorite. Who you got in this game?
It's fun. The Rams defense, Lawrence has gotten sacked a lot recently. He's played pretty good football. The Jags have played pretty good football overall, 4-2. I like the Jaguars and the underdog here for one reason. The Rams traveled yesterday. Transatlantic flight, and you're going to get ready to play a game this morning. It just seems ridiculous. I think the Jags have been there most of the week. To these games, you get if you're going to arrive the day before, this isn't a 2-hour jaunt, to San Francisco or so. Well, I guess it's not 2 hours to San Francisco, but whatever. I like the Jaguars just because of the Rams traveling late.
What you got, Jack?
Yeah, I mean, that's a factor what Keith is saying with travel. I mean, we can't discount it as much as we want. Trevor Lawrence has been getting sacked a good share of times, and he hasn't shown a great amount of mobility, even though he has the mobility. They haven't gotten Travis Hunter actually going. And I think the Rams find a way to win this game. Devontae Adams seems to be as good as he's ever been, when they utilize him the right way. And it kind of makes me wonder as a Jets fan, if they held on to the Rodgers-Devontae Adams combination, they'd be a lot better off than they were this year. But that's another team, another game. I like the Rams in this game, close game, 23. It's something like 23-17. The Jags have got to get Travis Hunter unleashed. They've got to get him started. I mean, what are they doing? I mean, they haven't gotten him started on offense. He's been a spot play on defense. He's a generational talent who hasn't quite been handled the correct way, I feel.
Well, to your point, Jack, they did say this week that he is going to get a load of the carry. Brian Thomas is kind of having a shaky start to his season, so they're really dependent on Hunter to, they're putting him all offense right now. whatever they do on defense will be very minimum, but they're putting him like, at least 80, 90% on offense right now so they can move the ball down the field. Also in this game, just remember Puka Nacua is not playing. So you just got Devontae out there. And, of course, the running back Williams. So, there's that. What you got, James, on this game? Well, go ahead.
First of all, I want to go.
Go ahead, James. Sorry, I just had one. Real quick.
Go ahead.
I feel like McVay is losing a little confidence in Williams as well. He's played pretty well at running back the last couple of years, but it feels like the last few weeks he's had some turnovers, and maybe McVay's losing a little confidence there. But go ahead. Sorry.
You good, man. All great. But I want to tell Jack, you think that Trevor Lawrence is not running it like he usually does? This is the guy that went up against Kansas City and scored the last touchdown, albeit against 3 mannequins, but he still was able to score a touchdown.
He fell on his face twice and
got in the end zone still.
He got in, he ran basically straight ahead a little to the left. He got sacked 6 times last week. Did he have?
He did. It happens. It happens. But I don't think that. And I like the Rams' defense, their defensive line. But I think that I'm with Keith here. I like the Jags as the underdog, and I think that they. He fell twice exactly, and still got up. Like I said, he did it against 3 mannequins. That guy that didn't move at all. But still, regardless, he still got in the end zone. So not for lack of trying, is what I'm saying. And so with that said, I still think they win. I think they find a way to utilize Travis Hunter in this game because they're going to need him. And not having Puka Nacua probably is big for the Rams too, as well. And and they're traveling, like he said, at the last minute. And don't get me wrong. I still don't trust McVay. I think he can find a way to win a game here, regardless, even with that shorter time. But I like I'm starting to like Liam Cohen as well, and I think he's going to find a way to win with his team. I think they're
an underrated coach because
he's not underrated.
No. After the Rams went to the Super Bowl, we thought they'd be in a rebuilding mode. But they were getting to the playoffs and having a winning culture while they were rebuilding.
He's still, he's a very great. He's a great coach. You can't deny that at all. He finds ways to win with the little. That's the makings of a great coach. If you can take scraps and put it together and make it look like a turkey dinner, then fine. If you just put little pieces here and there, and you got a great meal.
In a line for the Thanksgiving games, you came out with it a little early.
Yeah, sorry.
Bum Phillips always said the mark of a good coach is you can take yours and beat theirs, and he said it differently. You can take yours and beat theirs, and take theirs and beat yours. That's the mark of a really good coach. So that's similar to what you're talking about.
He said it about
and that's McVay.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Josh Shula said that. I have the Jack. Sorry. Yes.
Oh, I didn't hear you what you said.
No. I have the Jags as well. I didn't realize that they took the last minute flight out there, so that just adds on to everything else. Jags, London is their home basically, other home away from home, and they have they have one of the best records there, as well as the fact that we don't have. As long as we don't have Puka Nacua, that's another notch that's taken away from. And I'm with James. McVay is a good coach, but sometimes there's just too many superlatives to be putting on a team. And I just think that Jags are the ones that are going to win this one. Next game, Keith's New England Patriots are going against the Tennessee Titans. Patriots are favored by 6.5. Keith, I'm probably I know who you're gonna pick, but it's probably in good favor. The reason why you pick them too, but go for it.
I would worry about this game only because it's a young football team still learning the Vrabel way, and they've had a couple of nice wins the last few weeks. And I worry about a letdown always on these road games, but I think they win. Maybe they don't cover. It could be a closer game than what you think, but Drake May is getting it's fun to watch them week to week because he's getting better every single week, and you can see it. Sometimes it's tiny little things, right? Some of the things he doesn't do anymore, the silly little mental mistakes, and it's fun to watch this team. And the Titans just feel like a mess right now, and I can't see any way they're going to win this football game unless the Patriots lose it.
Jack, what you got, buddy?
Come on, Grable was let go by the Tennessee Titans. Okay, you could say he resigned, but it didn't work out at the end. There's got to be some hard feelings whenever you exit a job like that. He's not going to allow his team to let down. He's not going to say it publicly. He's probably not even going to say it to his players, but he's probably wrote them extra hard this week to let them know the importance of this game. They're not going to lose to this. Come on, this Tennessee Titan team. I mean,
I don't believe
they
they
have
will.
to be flukish. There'd have to be a number of turnovers.
You know what?
New England's just a better team. They'll win by about 20 points.
And normally I would say, well, Vrabel doesn't going to go out and play, but I will tell you something right now. You watch all the interaction in practice after games with Vrabel and this team. There's not a guy on that team, including Stephon Diggs, who's not going to run through a wall for that guy. I do think they want to go out and beat the Titans because of what Jack just talked about. And that's not always the case. I don't.
I think the players understand the whole situation. I don't think he has to give them any added motivation. I think they're going to play for their coach, and that's the way that's going to end up. What you got, James?
Yeah, so maybe I'm going to be the one that goes against the grain here. I think that everything that there's no Calvin Ridley. I think Cam saying they're playing like ass is legit. I think, or Cam says I think it's legit. They don't have their coach. There's all motivation for Vrabel to come in there and pounce on them, but there may be a little bit of begrudgingness of that defense in Tennessee and saying, no, we don't want him to come in here and beat us down. We got to try to find a way to win. We can run the ball. And I'm sorry, I can't keep lying to myself. I was just kidding. There's no way I'm going with the Titans here. It was a joke. It was a joke. I definitely think the Patriots are going to go in there and blast through the Titans, man, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm on that same page. The Patriots, I think, are going to take care of their business, and Vrabel's going to get his quote-unquote revenge on the Titans. I don't think he'll see it that way. He might have that deep in the back of his mind, but it's still a game. You got to approach every game as one game at a time, and that's what good coaches do. So he'll beat them. Next game is James's New Orleans.
Sorry, one quick thing. Another added motivation to really pick the Patriots up is their defensive coordinator Williams, who's been out battling cancer, is back on the sideline.
Oh yeah.
Too. So another little thing for the Patriots.
For sure.
Oh yeah. James, your Saints are going into Chicago. Chicago is favored by 3.5. Keith, what do you think about this?
Chicago's playing pretty good football. Williams still a little up and down and does some kind of weird things. But I'm sorry, James, I can't come up with one reason to think the Saints can go to Chicago and win this game on the road.
I'll give you two, but you go ahead. I'll give you two.
They didn't play well against they didn't play badly against the Patriots last week. They had chances to win that game, but again, that's one of the reasons I think they're not a really good football team, because a good football team would have found a way to beat the Patriots last week because they were beatable. So I got to take Chicago and Williams here.
What you got, Jack?
And the rest of the team.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to be kind of happy in Chicago now with DeAndre Swift having a big game finally, with a running attack, two really good receivers, DJ Moore, Dunzy, and Caleb Williams. I know he's still erratic, making a lot of mistakes, but it's what we talked about earlier. Let him keep playing. Let him keep improving. He's going to continue to make a lot of mistakes, but the finished product, that's what they care about. And they're 3-2, the Bears. There's kind of like a new culture there. I don't know. I got to ask James, is the Dennis Allen situation a factor at all? I like the Bears in this game, by the way. Absolutely. But is that going to be a factor in this game? You know, their old coach, the Saints, on the Bears sideline. Is that going to get the New Orleans Saints a little pumped up?
Jack, you shouldn't ask me that question. You know that's a question. You know that's a fact. You know Dennis Allen is definitely one of the reasons they can't wait to get up there again and go up against a defense that's given up 5.7 rush yards per game. And so I think they're going to Alvin Kamara and Kendre Miller, whom Dennis Allen had him on his hot list, his bad list, the time he was there. He demoted him and everything else, and he's playing great right now. I think he's going to go up there and have a Rico Dowdle moment. I'm not saying 200 yards, but I think if the fact that they're giving him 5.7, if they give him the rock, he's going to run the ball and go up against that defense and give them the business and control the clock. But that's not the biggest storyline here. The biggest storyline is the two quarterbacks that were drafted last year that played for Oklahoma. Not only in Caleb Williams, but Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler was the guy that was supposed to be a number one draft pick at some point. He was the highly touted quarterback that played for high school in Arizona, and Caleb Williams came in and took his job from under him. And it's what it is. And it sent him to South Carolina. And so when they asked him a question about how is he and Caleb Williams, are you guys friends? He said, we're cordial. And so to me, when you say you're cordial, meaning like, I don't like you. And not do I not like you, I want to come back up there and show that I shouldn't have been a 5th round draft pick. I think Spencer Rattler goes up and has a really good game. He's going to have, he threw for 3 TDs once already this season. I think he throws for 3 or 4 this season. This game.
Whoa.
And the Saints go up and still win. They get a win from Chicago.
I would buy those if they were closer in talent. I would buy those reasons, but I think Chicago's a lot better talent-wise. Let
me tell you. The last game they played against your guy, Olave dropped passes. This guy is a guy before the concussions. He had 2,000-yard seasons. I heard him talk, and I think he understood. He said, anything that comes to my radius, I need to be catching it.
Well, who are you picking, the Bears or the Saints?
I'm picking the Saints, man. Get the wax out of the ears.
Well, if he said Rattler's going to throw 7 touchdowns, I think he's picking the Bears to win. We got a guy running for 200 yards and 7 touchdowns for the quarterback. So this is going to be a big win for the Saints, it looks like.
By the way, on a off note, they are getting trying to get Olave signed. They're working on a deal for him right now. So everybody that's calling for him for a receiver, don't do it.
By the way,
they're not going to give it.
Well, Alvin Kamara wants to finish his career with the Saints, the way he's been talking, and you get the feeling he means it. I think sometimes when you're with your franchise your whole career, you're so comfortable there, you just don't want to pack up.
By the way, that last week's game, James, both of these teams, and I don't blame referees ever for games being won or lost, but that doesn't mean they're not bad. Both teams should want that refereeing crew suspended forever. They were awful last week. That's the worst I've seen in years.
Well, no doubt you didn't watch the Kansas City Lions game. But anyway. Well,
I did see your comments about that, yes.
Yeah. Carolina Panthers.
Who are you picking?
I'm picking the Bears. Sorry, James.
That's okay.
I have a little bit more faith of him.
That's all I need to know. If he's picking the Bears, he's got to really like the Bears or hate the Saints. I don't know which. Because he doesn't ever take anybody else.
I think the Saints are going to make it a hell of a game, though. That's all I know. Brian, they're always making these games.
You never take an NFC North team except for the Lions.
Yeah. I'm just going. I'm a football person, and so. My NFC NFC North hate can last for so long. I have to be true to it. So, anyway, Carolina Panthers are 1.5 point favorite over Jack Hirsch's New York Jets. Keith, who you got in this game?
Listen, I said last week the Jets got to win somewhere, and when Sonia sees this show, she'll hate me. But the Jets didn't make a change at quarterback, I don't think. Correct? Fields is starting.
No, Fields.
Look at Carolina. for all the hype at least one person gives them, and I do think they're better, and I do think they'll finish with maybe eight wins, but they might all be at home because they haven't played well on the road at all. And I think the Jets are going to win this game in a very ugly fashion today.
Yeah, I mean, Jets have to win a few games before the year's over, at least 3 games.
They don't have a lot of opportunities
They
left.
should win a few games. Carolina has no pass rush at all. Their whole defense, you could have them all in all. And Justin Fields is going to be able to use his legs. You know, he's going to have time in the pocket. And when they finally start putting a little pressure on him, he's going to be able to escape. Problem is Justin Fields doesn't have anyone to throw the ball to with Garrett Wilson out. He has a bunch of B-level receivers to throw to, not much of a running game.
Just let him run.
Going to have to do a lot on his own. And after the fiasco of last week, believe me, Aaron Glenn is so committed to Justin Fields doing well. He might want Justin Fields to do well even more than Justin Fields himself wants to do well. That's the scrutiny that Aaron Glenn is under this week. I mean, Jets will have enough to, win this game. It's not going to be a high-scoring game, but I could see something like a 21-14.
Your challenge worse.
Jet defense showed up last week against Denver. Give them a lot of credit. They were tough. They were good. And if they show up again in the same manner, Bryce Young isn't going to be hurting them much. The Jets should win this game. Finally, they should get a W.
Why do I feel like in week 17, I'm going to be saying the Jets got to win the game somewhere, right?
Because you will. You will. And then because they're not going to win this game. They're not going to win. You talk about everybody's talking about everything but the elephant in the room, and that's Rico Dowdle, the guy that just ran for 400 plus, almost 500 plus all-purpose yards in 2 games. You really think he's not going to put some stuff on you guys too? I mean, the pressure is off of Bryce Young if you can run the ball like that. And not only that, they're getting Chuba Hubbard back this game too. If I'm not mistaken, he's coming back this game too.
Well, they're going to spend time at running back, but that's against Dallas. Dallas can't stop the run. The Jets are good against the run. They weren't good against the run earlier this year in some of the games, but they finally tightened up. And now, they peaked against Denver, stopping the run.
I pick your team every game this year. I'm going against the grain. I'm going with Carolina because I think Carolina's going to go up there and get their first 500, above 500 win. And I just think they're motivated right now. And they're putting it, they found a spark. Their running back is that Dallas let go. And not only did he let go, I mean, he told them to buckle their chin strap. He told them to buckle their chin strap, and they didn't. And he took them for a ride. And I think even if he gives you 100 yards, that's still a bonus. And that puts them in position to win. So you're talking about what your defense can do. And let's not get it twisted here. I think Carolina's defense is not that bad. They can, I mean, I'm just not trusting, I'm not trusting Fields here. Man, Fields, he looked awful. I mean, to be minus is god awful, and I think that he can. Someone said he only go up from here. So yeah, maybe he gets 0 yards this time instead of minus. And so I think he's going to do better, but I still think the Panthers win a tight one here.
All right, so Sonia can't write your script for you anymore on Sunday mornings, James.
No, you know me. I'm never picking the Panthers, but I got to give what credit is due. And it's just
threaten you this week. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, she was supposed to be on here threatening Jack, but she's been up for 24 hours, so she doesn't make it.
I think she knows the Panthers are going to lose today, so she's kind of bracing for that.
Okay. Jack is writing the script for himself right now for a beatdown later. I'm just telling you, it's coming.
Well, keep this in mind. I've been picking the Jets to lose games throughout the year. I don't remember how many games I picked them to win, but I picked them to lose the majority of their games. So it's not like I'm just talking as a fan. I mean, the Panthers, their defense, you say, isn't as bad as people think. Yes, they are.
Flat out. Yes, they are.
I think the only thing that's going against the Panthers is that they're undefeated at home and they're defeated away. So that goes in your favor in that regard. They lost 3 games away, but not with the momentum that they're playing right now. I just don't think that. I mean, against the Jets, Jack, 0-6.
Momentum. They won 2 games in a row. They got shut out, 30-0 to Atlanta.
Jack doesn't think momentum's a real thing. Come on.
Yeah.
But again, they're going against a team. You have momentum too, Jack, in the wrong direction.
If the Jets lose and they look really bad today,
I told them Monday.
Celtics really bad. It is going to be uglier in New York than in any other NFL season. If it happens,
We'll look forward to get pretty ugly duckling up there, buddy, because they're gonna.
Fields looks bad and he looks lost. We have a fiasco here. We really do.
It's already a fiasco, Jack. After the game in London proved that. That's where it's at. And again, I to me, this is just par for the course with Carolina. That's where it got really bad was in London, and I was just like, wow, because the bad management, the minus yards for a quarterback. How does that even happen? How does that happen?
Well, the fact that he got sacked 9 times is part of that.
That helps.
I attribute 3 of those sacks to him holding on to the ball too long. But other than that, the offensive line is a whole heck of a lot better. And they got to run the ball more effectively, so they're not teeing off on Justin. But that's another comment. Anyway, I also picked the Jets to win, Jack. So, like we're all saying, they got to win sometime. This is probably the best time they can probably win. I'm gonna go to my game just before Keith gets going here. Tampa Bay versus the Lions on Monday night. The Lions are favored by 6.5. Damn.
Surprise.
So, yeah, it is. Who do you guys got? Who do you got here, Keith?
This is one of the best matchups of the week. I like this game a lot. I mean, the problem with Tampa Bay's really good. Baker's been good. They played through injuries. They find ways to win. But when you ride that tight wire act week after week after week, you're gonna lose at some point, and maybe more than once. But Baker Mayfield is one of the great stories in the NFL this year. He might be the MVP in the first third of the season. It's a good matchup, but them going on the road. Your team's really good. The Lions are really, really good, and they shouldn't. When they lose, they beat themselves as often as the other team beats them. Now, we don't give enough credit to other teams when our teams lose. Usually, we beat ourselves. Everybody says that, but the Lions are just too much talent. Too much talent. The Bears have been running, or the Bucks have been running that tight wire act. I think they lose a close one here. Maybe they have the ball and don't pull it off at the end. So maybe they cover the 6, but they lose a game. 6.5, they lose a game.
Just to shed some light on this further, the Lions are down all their 4 starting line defensive backs. And Kirby's not playing. Brian Branch is suspended. DJ Reed is out and Arnold is out. So those are their 4 starting secondary. So
Find a way to get
you're going to have to find a way to do that. But Aleem McNeil is coming back. Also, Evans is coming back for the
Evans could be back.
Evans going to be back. And Agbuka will be playing too. So
they'll have the work cut out for him. I like him at home.
yeah.
I'll still take the Lions at home.
Okay. What you got, Jack?
When you look at the injury factor, the guys coming back for the Buccaneers and the guys out for the Lions, you go, wow. I mean, that's certainly a very clear path to Tampa Bay winning this game. Something about the 17-game schedule and how teams are doing. You can't get up to every game. You just can't. I mean, and if you do, by the time the playoffs come around, you're going to hit a wall. I saw that happen with Keith's New England Patriots, the unbeaten season until the Super Bowl. I think fatigue was setting in with that unbeaten record. They were just tired. And I think Tampa Bay's in such a nice position that they can throw a game away. They're not looking at it that way. They can lose to the Lions by a couple of touchdowns, and they'll reset, and they'll be fine going forward. And I just think this game means a little more to Detroit. In Detroit, it's a big game. They know what Tampa Bay's been doing. I just feel this is a little bit of a reset for Tampa Bay. You know, I can't imagine them being psyched. I know they lost to the Lions a couple of years ago in the playoff game, but I think that's irrelevant, the revenge factor. And if the injuries in the secondary aren't hurting the Lions too much, they should win by a couple of touchdowns because, like Keith says, Tampa Bay's been walking this tightrope, and eventually you fall off it, and then you reset after. So I think it's a 1 week thing with Tampa Bay. I wouldn't worry about it. I see the Lions winning something like 34-20.
I mean,
Like Herm always said, you play to win the game. You play to win the game. I don't think there's any reset here. I just think that the Lions will come in and beat them. If they're at home, both offenses will shine on both sides. And so it's probably going to be a high-scoring game, I think. And but I think the Lions will have enough with their offense to be able to win the game. I don't know if they win by 2 touchdowns or anything like that, but I think it'll be closer to. I think the Tampa Bay will cover, but I think the Lions are going to win.
Yeah, I just to push back a little bit on something that you said, Jack. This is a meaningful game because this is an NFC game. You know, the Kansas City Lions game wasn't as meaningful as people were trying to make it out to be because it's an AFC game. I mean, all wins, you want to win every game, obviously, but there's sometimes in a course of the season,
yeah.
So I mean, so it's going to be equally important for Tampa Bay too because they got established. They're the only 5-1 team in the NFC right now. Well, 1 and 2.
But it's too early.
The only 5-1 team. So
it's too early. I was talking that foolishness game 1 between the Bills and the Ravens. Oh, now if they meet in the AFC Championship game, the Bills are going to have the home field advantage. I mean, how does that look now?
Well, I'm surprised you even picked the Lions because Tampa Bay's your Super Bowl pick, isn't it?
Well, Baker Mayfield, and they're still my Super Bowl pick.
Guys,
Regardless of what happens to the
All right, Keith.
On a Super Bowl.
Have a great show, Keith.
Thanks,
Great
sir.
football Sunday.
Enjoy the
tomorrow
football.
morning on our show.
Bye-bye.
Baker Mayfield is not going to be able to do what he does with his legs against the Lion pass rush. That's a big difference involved. The Lions are going to pressure him. He's not going to be able to escape and do the same type of damage.
All right. Well, you know, I got the Lions. I just think they haven't lost 2 in a row in almost 3 years. So, and I'm banking on that. These 2 teams are pretty closely. You got to remember last year, Tampa Bay beat the Lions. That was one of their losses last year was Tampa Bay. So Tampa Bay is a very tough team, no matter what. They've been a tough team for the last couple of years, 3 years. They've been in the playoffs, 2 of them so far. So, I mean, Tampa Bay's no joke.
5 years they've been to the playoffs, Tampa Bay, but they've been in the weakest division in football over those years. And but now Tampa Bay's genuinely a better team. They're the best team. They have the best team by far since they won the Super Bowl with Brady.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're a really good team. And at 6.5 is a lot too. I think it's going to come down to a field goal, to tell you the truth. Next game we have is the Miami Dolphins at the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns are surprisingly get 2.5 point favorites in this game. I don't know if about surprisingly, but who do you have on this game there, Jack?
I mean, it's a game that's dealing with negatives here. Dealing with negatives. All this Mike McDaniel talk, I think the Dolphins do show up and play for him. I don't think there's this mess in Miami the way it's made out to be. They're just losing. They just haven't played as well as they should on the field. But from what I've noticed, the times I've watched them play this year, they do play hard. Okay? And I'll trust Tua a little more than I would Gabriel. It's going to come down. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I see like a 20-16 type game. Cleveland's got a little better defense than Miami. Miami's got a good front seven. They're not that bad. They're really not. But I'll trust the Tua to Jaden Waddle combination a little more than Dylan Gabriel to whoever he's going to throw to.
Okay, so you got the you got the Dolphins. Okay,
Yeah.
what you got there, James?
I mean, Jack, I'm going to agree with you in regards to Miami having a lot of issues, a lot of negatives, and different things that are off the field in regards to the coaching, Tua talking about them not showing the meetings, different things like that. And of course not having Tyreek Hill for some time now. That's a big deal for them. Devon, or excuse me, A Chain. He's playing out of his mind. He's playing great, but I don't know if he's going to do that against Cleveland's defense. And so I think that being at home and they're only up favored by 2.5, I thought they'd win. I think he'd be enough on their offense. Maybe they rely on the rookie running back, Judkins, to see if he can get something started in their offense. And Jerry Judy's no slouch as a receiver. I don't know if he's playing or not. Is he playing?
Well, he played last week.
Yeah. So he should be playing. So, and I think Dylan has a bounce back game. I know he threw 52 times.
Wait. Bounce back. What has he done to bounce back from? What are we talking about?
It wasn't a good game last. Like he didn't have a good game.
No, but he didn't do anything substantial to bounce back from anything.
Well, his first game was actually much better. His first game was actually.
He was efficient in his first game. He was efficient, but nothing to write home about. That game they lost to the Vikings. He did okay.
Yeah.
I graded him a B in his first game. Last week, maybe a C- at best.
Yeah, but with that said, I don't think you give him that 52 throws to the rookie. He shouldn't be throwing the ball that much. Obviously, they couldn't run the ball, but I think they should run a little bit better.
I mean, James, they're inconsequential throws what Dylan's doing. Everything is a short pass.
For sure, exactly. I get a dink and dunk. And now the question is whether or not at some point are you going to have to see Shedeur Sanders? I know nobody probably have Shedeur Sanders fatigue, but the question is going to come up again: should he be playing at some point? And the owner even said, "I'd like to see both the kids, play at this juncture." So at some point, he probably will play. But with that said, I got the Browns winning this game. Jalen Waddle, I don't know if there's any credence to it, but he took his name off the Miami social media. They're putting his name out there for trade bait. So I don't know if he's considered to be a trade option. So that maybe they're trying to break this team up and rebuild. So with that said, again, that adds to the factor to me picking the Browns to win the game.
You mentioned an interesting point of Jaden Waddle. Now, if there was no cap issues at all, I would think you could get a number one draft choice from some team would give a number one to have Jaden Waddle in let's call him one of the best receivers in the NFL right now. I put him behind Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, but he's still elite nevertheless. But with everything involved with the cap, you don't pull a Micah Parsons type deal to get a Jaden Waddle. It's a little different when you have a guy who's like a tremendous force on defense like Micah Parsons. This Jaden Waddle thing, I don't see going anywhere, and it signals tremendous immaturity. For him to take his name off there, get some controversy going. He didn't do anything offensive enough where I'd say, bench him to get your point across. The way Tua did. I would have benched Tua for talking out. If I would have coached Mike McDaniel, I would have got my point across. I'm benching you for one of the backups, and I think the team would have rallied behind McDaniel, but that would have been a gutsy move.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm not surprised by any of the things that's going on in Miami right now. So it is, I mean, considering McDaniel, and I'm not surprised that McDaniel would make that kind of, that he didn't make that kind of move. So we'll see what happens at the end of the season with Miami. I just think that's a train wreck ready to that already happened, but we just hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah, I think a chain is also on that same trade report too. There's teams asking about him. Also, Njoku is not playing in this game, tight end for Cleveland. So that's going to take a weapon away from Gabriel. But I'm still going with the Browns because just like Jack's Jets, Got to win sometime, and this is the best opportunity for them to win right here.
Well,
With
Dolphins
a
got to win
Madeline-
sometime too. I mean,
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
You
So
know,
this is the
you
one in
know,
five bowl.
Kevin Stefanski, I think, is being pressured in what to do, if not being told what to do with this Shedeur Sanders hanging over him. A part of me says, has it crossed their mind, let Shedeur Sanders play, and we can't lose. If he messes up, we could bench him and I could move on from him. And if he plays well, great. But what do you do with Dylan Gabriel? Why is Cleveland so committed to a third-round draft choice? I understand if they drafted
third-round
Dylan
draft
Gabriel or one of the first few picks in the draft, you're committed to him. I understand that. You're committed to him because you don't want to acknowledge we wasted a draft pick, but this is the third round. I know it has some value. Keep this in mind. When the Vikings got Mike McCarthy, they moved up one spot with the Jets, and they gave the Jets a third-round draft pick. Same value as what Cleveland spent on Dylan Gabriel. They didn't invest so much in Dylan Gabriel where they should have this obligation for it to work out.
Draft picks, this is the thing I think about draft picks. Draft picks are like the money that they give these players. You are what you're worth and what the team thinks you're worth when they draft you. We can say, oh, it's a third-round draft pick, and we can say it's a third-round draft pick and then say, well, that we're just going to go pass by stuff like that. And you got several first-round draft pick quarterbacks that aren't good. So, I mean, it can fall anywhere. You got Tom Brady is always the one that's going to set the example for, a sixth-round pick that did, he became the GOAT. So, I mean, it's draft picks to me are just what team wants to make you what you are. With that being said, though, this is the reason why Stefanski is probably going to get fired at the end of this year, because he's going to be butting heads with the owner, Haslam. And they can't, because Haslam's the one that wanted Shedeur. Whether he wants to come out there and say it or not, he's the one that wanted Shedeur. And Stefanski's kind of not going to do that because Gabriel is his guy for the offense. And it's going to be button heads. It's going to be an awkward conversation between the two. And who do you think is going to win out of that situation? The owner's not going to fire himself. He's going to fire the coach. So we'll see how that whole play turns around. So Cleveland's having issues on their own. Good morning, Sonia. How are you?
Good morning, Brian and Jack.
Hey, good
morning. Good morning.
Sonia, you already missed the Panther-Jet game, I hate to tell you. And of the four of us, with Keith Engel on, three of us picked the Jets to beat the Panthers. I just wanted you to know James was the lone holdout.
Oh, I know you playing.
Panthers got
No,
no
he's not.
defense.
Keith had the nerve to make a silly guess like that.
Oh, not only he said the silly guess, he said the Jets got to win sometime, and this is
Well, that's what B said, and so that's B done got in somebody's head. But I'm sorry I missed it, Jack. I was too busy turning in an assignment. I've literally been up over 24 hours, but I could not miss saying hello to you specifically because it's been so long.
You came on. You had to come on. I haven't seen you for a while, in the show here until the Jets were 0-6.
Oh,
You come
I
on
didn't
that
realize
time.
that. I
mean,
didn't realize you guys hadn't won anything until like Friday when we were
Well,
talking.
we'll have a win today, finally.
Oh, wow.
Really,
So you're
Sonia?
thinking-
Come on.
Okay, so guess what? Next Sunday, I don't have an assignment. I'll be on time next Sunday so we can talk about it. Hey, Miss Linda, good to see you.
Hey, Linda.
Hey, Linda.
Good morning, Miss Linda.
And by the way, Miss Linda, we always make sure we have the tickler still dedicated to Max. So every show, B makes sure that that's up there. He's been doing a great job. So just want to let you know we think of you always, and we love you both always. But yeah, Jack, you're not okay. That's all right. I have your phone number. So I'm so sorry I missed that pick.
Turn your phone off, Jack.
Yeah, you better be glad
I
I'm
want to hear during the game. If the Jets are down 21-0, she'll send a text. I know that.
Oh, she'll be blowing up your phone. I'm telling you that right now.
Actually, you all will be saved because I'm gonna watch the game if I can. Hopefully, I can stay awake. I'm on my way to church now. I'm just so proud that I was actually able to stay up. And then I have a meeting with a professor at 5:30 after the Panthers win, of course. So, I'll be.
Well, I did learn one thing from Sonia, and we haven't gotten to this game yet, but I'm basing my prediction on what I learned from Sonia in football when I first, met her when she came on with Mac in the beginning of the show. So I picked the game wrong and Sonia picked it right. Now, Sonia's logic was, I think it was a Falcon game. She said the Falcons have a big game. They have scheduled rap artists, hip hop guys, the whole bit.
Yes,
it's going to be a
I remember
celebration, and that'll pump the Falcons up to win the game. I didn't see the logic from a football perspective, but the Falcons won that game. So I'm using the intangibles that Sonia mentioned for certain games.
Yep, exactly. They're playing the 49ers today. Brock Purdy's still out. You're going to get Mac and Cheese, Mr. Mac Jones, still at the quarterback helm. But their offense has been a little bit banged up. They still got to kind of find their rhythm. And I'm hoping that that's today. The Falcons are being hyped up by everybody, Jack. I mean, the media.
Well, I didn't mean to cut it on Brian to get the order of the games. I was just giving an example of what I learned from you.
So sorry.
And picking football games.
I'm all out of line. Sorry, B. Thanks, Jack.
Yeah, we don't want to cut it on Brian. That's his job to get the order of the games.
But Jack, we got to blame you for even going that direction. So it kind of leads.
I think I compliment Sonia backfires.
He was just giving me a prop, and I thought that was the game we were picking. My bad, guys.
Well, the game that we are on at the moment is the Philadelphia Eagles at the Minnesota Vikings. Eagles are getting 2.5 in that game. Who do you got, Jack?
Yeah, Eagles got to bounce back after losing 2 in a row. I don't think this is a free fall for the Eagles at all. They'll make the adjustments. They've been meeting a lot. Their key guys like Hurts has been meeting a lot with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley. Too talented not to get it together. But I will say this, if you're A.J. Brown, you're under the microscope and people are thinking there's discontent. But you can't blame them when you're that great a receiver and you're hardly getting any throws your way. And then finally you have to wait till the fourth quarter to, see throws coming to you. Yeah, you have every right to be upset about it. I mean, because he could do so much good and has done the same thing with Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, and they'll be fine. But it's going to be a tough game at Minnesota. It'll be a tough game, but the Eagles should win something like 26-20. There's some concern about Jalen Hurts as a pocket passer. If you keep him there, how effective he is. Now we hear things about his arm strength, but he's adequate from the pocket and can do great things with his legs and has the weapons. And Eagles should win, But I think you're looking at a close game still.
What you got, James?
3 words. Run, Saquon, run. They didn't run the ball. My man had breaks of 18 and 15-yard runs in their first drive last game that they lost, and they stopped running. They ran away. They got away from what they did best. What got them there last year was allowing this guy to rush for 2,000 yards. Give him the ball again. When in doubt, give the ball to Saquon. That should change the trajectory of defenses and how they play you, and that should give up a little bit more spacing for passing for Jalen Hurts to be more successful. So I just think that I don't know what's going on in the new offensive coordinator's head, but man, don't try to break what isn't. Don't try to fix what isn't broken. Go ahead and give him the ball, run the ball, and I think they should win. I got the Eagles winning. I think I agree with Jack. I think they bounce back, and I think they win.
Sonia, who you got?
Yeah, Jack knows my favorite phrase. It's a no-brainer that the Eagles are not going to lose 2 in a row. They are the defending world champs. They still
Or
have
3 in a row. They've lost the last 2. 3 in a row, you meant.
Well, yeah, that's true. But oh wow, yeah, you're right. Well, who's quarterbacking for Minnesota today? I know it's not JJ. Who
Carson
is it?
Wentz.
I don't know, guys. Carson is a former Eagle. I'm gonna call a spoiler alert on this one. I'm gonna call a spoiler alert for Minnesota to win on this one. I don't know if I picked that on my games. I'm gonna have to go back and look. But is this game in Philly?
No, it's in
It's
Minnesota.
in Minnesota, yeah.
Okay, well, yeah. I mean, for those who don't know in our audience, I mean, if you're new to football or been living under a rock, Carson Wentz is the former quarterback with the Eagles when they won a Super Bowl. So I'm calling a spoiler alert on this one. I think he's going to show who the better real Eagle is, and even though he's not an Eagle anymore. And I'm going to say that it's probably going to be 13-10 as the score. It's going to be low scoring.
Yeah,
This game would be a lot more fun if it was in Philadelphia instead of Minnesota. Carson Wentz
Facts.
returning, the storyline would have been nice to,
Yeah.
to see. Yeah.
That's why I was asking, like, where's the game? Carson goes back to Philly. But, yeah, I'm calling Minnesota 13-10. Jot that down for me, B, since I can't right now, so that when I get
Okay.
stationary, I can go ahead and make sure that I've chosen that on my Keith Angle picks because I need some games to come back from. Thank you.
All right. I am going to be picking the Eagles as well, as long as they do what James says they need to do. Run the ball. This is what got them to the Super Bowl last year. And I'm really getting tired of Brown and Devontae Smith complaining about, oh, we don't get the ball. Dude, you just won a Super Bowl. You're winning games. No, you haven't won games in the last 2 games. That's because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, is running the ball. You realize running the ball opens up the pass, right? You do realize that. This is football, basic football. You're football players. You're supposed to understand that. So why don't you find out what's going on in the running game instead of worrying about how many catches you're getting in the game? And then that way, and block for players when Saquon's running downfield instead of sitting there and complaining about it. And Sirianni is as much to blame about this situation as anybody else because, first of all, he needs to tell these guys, look, I don't want to hear any of that. You guys are on this team. You don't want to be on this team and win another Super Bowl with us, then the door is that way. And we can get you somewhere else. Saquon is the guy. You just got to face facts. And I don't care about how much ego you have. And you're winning Super Bowls with this guy. 2,000 yards, won a Super Bowl. Yeah, he didn't play good. Guess who played good in that game, though? The receivers and the quarterback. So what's the problem here? I don't understand the problem. So if they can run the ball effectively, they're going to win that.
Brian, that's a sticking. But Brian, don't use the word fact, please, unless you say 1 + 1 = 2. That's a fact. It's an opinion that they should be running with Saquon much more than they should be throwing the ball to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Saquon Barkley's great. One of my favorite players. A class act and like I said, a great player. But you have a pair of Rolls Royces and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. I mean, over there. I mean, that might be the best tandem in the NFL, arguably. I know you'll say Chase and Higgins, and you'll give me some other combos, but the frustration, you gotta throw the ball in this league.
Jack, you use an analogy of Rolls Royces. Let me say this.
It is a fact because Philadelphia has to run the ball to establish the pass. And this is the reason why they lost 2 games. They haven't even run Saquon Barkley in those last 2 games. So, yes, it is a fact that you have to get him going to get that pass game going.
And you use the analogy. You use the analogy of Rolls Royces and your wide receivers, but if you're a blue collar, you use a F-150 or F-250, and that F-250 is Saquon Barkley. That's going to be utilized way more than the Rolls Royces. You keep the Rolls Royces in the garage. When you go to work, you pull out that F-250. That's what I'm saying right there.
Well, I would drive my Rolls to work if I had one to show up. I would pull up with it. Yeah.
I agree. No need to let it just sit. No need to just sit in there it like for only you to see. No, I want the whole world to see that this is what I got, and I'm gonna keep it nice and shiny.
I'm not saying that.
Sonia has a couple of great running backs at Carolina, so yeah.
I mean,
And you're going to see
I'm
them
not talking about
run too.
I'm not talking about putting the
Mr.
Rolls Royce in the
Mr.
garage.
Dowdle
I'm
gonna-
saying, just kind of, when you need to flex them, then you flex them. You go out there and you showboat them. But until that point, you gotta push the F-150 through there. I like that Ford reference.
Mr. Dowdle gonna get down on y'all today, Jack. Good luck.
Yeah. I don't think so, but we'll see.
And Chuba's coming back too, and they said they're gonna give y'all that 1-2 punch. So it's both of them.
Chuba's going to take carries away from Dowdle, but that's okay. The Raiders are at Kansas City. Kansas City's got 11.5 point cover here.
Oh my goodness.
Who do you got, Jack? You got the Raiders or you got KC?
Yeah, would you really think I'm going to tell you I got the Raiders? Come on. Don't ask me. Say something like, how do you think the game's going to unfold? I mean, come on. Set me up a little better than that. I can hit. I'm not playing.
It was
Steve Ball.
sarcasm.
I'm
It
not
was
playing
sarcasm,
Steve Ball.
Jack.
Yeah, Rashid Rice coming back. I'm going to throw this at all of you. Of all the teams in the NFL, which one at this moment, I'm only talking about this moment, you see with the most upside? The most upside. And that would be the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they have the most upside at this moment. And this Raider team, they had Ashton Genty carry the ball more, I know, last game, and they want to really work him in. He's still a question mark how good he's really ultimately going to be, and with Brock Bowers hurt, this, that. I mean, the Raiders are kind of dysfunctional. They have a few really good players, you could say, but the rest is lacking, and the Pete Carroll era hasn't turned out the way it's hoped, and Chiefs should win this game, pretty comfortably. I mean, very comfortably. I think something like a 33-14 game in Kansas City. I just don't see the Raiders playing them tough and close.
What you got, James?
Yeah, I got to agree with Jack. It's not a question of if the Chiefs win. It's how they win and how devastating they might be. I just don't have any faith in the Raiders right now. I had a little bit of hope when they came into the season. Having Brock Bowers, having Ashton Genty as their running back, the first round draft choice, and also having Geno. Geno's starting to go back to what he was, unfortunately, and he's regressing. And I think that's not having the things in place. Because Geno, if he has everything in place, he's successful. I mean, he clearly showed that when he was in Seattle. It's just not quite there just yet right now with them. And so I think it's going to be tough. Maybe they add a few more pieces next season. They can bounce back. I still have hope for for the rookie running back, and I like having Brock Bowers there. And believe it or not, they have another blocking tight end in Mike Myers that came out of Notre Dame. These are both first round draft picks and tight ends. So I'm surprised that he's not traded by the end of the draft. The trade deadline, or they keep him in it and they do something with him in the offseason. But man, they've been a disappointment. But I got the Chiefs winning, and I think they win big this game.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good point. I'm gonna take the Chiefs here too, as much as I don't want to. But anyway, I had to take them because they're on the up and up. Their convict is back, so he'll be Rice is back in the lineup, so he'll be a welcome addition for them too. He'll be stretching the field, and really, the Raiders are just Genty anyway because Brock Bowers won't be playing again this week. And Jacoby Myers is in trade rumors himself, about getting traded. So, I mean, the Raiders are a mess right now. I don't see that this even being a close game. Who you got, Sonia?
I mean, before y'all just filled me in on all the happenings from that team, I need to go back and change that one because I had called an upset. You guys know how it is when it's a divisional matchup. But if Geno's look, I mean, I don't know. How long is Pete Carroll's contract?
Too long.
I mean, he's an older coach. That would be the only reason to move on from him being in the 70s. But it's his first year. They're not going to fire Pete Carroll.
True.
They better not. I love Pete. He's got the freshest breath in the league. I love Pete. And he's still active. He runs up and down the sidelines. Like, I love Pete. He has a great, I love him. I hope I can meet him one day.
Chewing that gum like he's chewing efforted gum. You better hold on it. The dentures are hopefully they holding it tight.
I don't know if he has them. His teeth may be in perfect health because he, exercised his gums so often. I was wondering.
Probably.
I was wondering if it was like Chantix or whatever that anti-smoking gum was. Like if he used to be a smoker, because the way he chews it, I'm like, wow. But I chew gum personally to help me not eat a lot. So maybe he does it because he's nice and lean. But I don't know, guys. I mean, with everything going on, it's clear that the Raiders are not going to pull this one off, unfortunately. So, yeah, I guess we'll go with the Chiefs. By the way, small plug, you guys really got cheated. Like, go figure. They cheat everybody they play, but y'all really did get cheated for real. So, I wish you guys had handed them what they needed, but I'm sick of them. And I hope they lose. That's my take. But yeah, Chiefs are gonna win this one. Boo.
Yeah, I the only questionable call that I had on there, I don't never complain about refs about that kind of stuff. The Lions pretty much shot themselves in the foot a couple of times in that game. But the only thing I had to blame them for is that goal line thing when that was idiotic. The NFL should be slapped in the face for that kind of stuff. That's just bad look for them, bad look for the referees. When you tell the coach, hey, we got the call from New York, and New York didn't even call them. You just outright lied to a
New
NFL
York
head
didn't even
coach.
call?
New York didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
They
it
need
was
to get rid of every
bad.
ref from that game. They really do, and fine them.
Yeah,
But we got 30 minutes and 6 more games, y'all.
Yeah, we're good. New York is going to be the New York Giants are at the Broncos. Broncos have an 8.5 point line on them. Jack, who you got in that game?
These teams are actually similar in the style of play. It'll be like two bulls going at it. The Giants all giddy, and I don't like to use the word momentum, but if you win 2 out of 3, is that momentum? If you're a losing team, usually, Giants have a good defense. Broncos have an elite defense. So it kind of cancels out. It comes down to coaching in a way. I'll trust Sean Payton a little more than Brian Daboll. Low-scoring games, something like 19-16 Denver.
What about you there, James?
Yeah, Denver's at home. The Giants has a really good defense. I agree, but they can be exposed, and so can the Denver's defense too. I've seen some bad play, but I like Sean Payton a little more than Daboll. I think the coaching matters here, and I think the score is probably going to be maybe around 25-21, somewhere around there, 24-21. And I got the Broncos winning.
Yeah, the Broncos are number 2 overall in defense, total defense. Just to let you know that. I'm going to go with the Broncos as well. It's in Mile High, so I'm definitely going to have to go with the Broncos. And the Giants, they might put up a fight, but again, they went to New Orleans and got pasted. Okay, and it's kind of the same thing that I say about Carolina. When you play at home, you play really good. Obviously, they played really good against Philadelphia and beat them. But when they go on the road, it's like, what team is this that we're seeing? It's a totally opposite team. There was Jackson Dart and Scatterboo didn't play well at all against New Orleans. So I don't see them playing really good against Denver either. I think 8.5 is a bit too much for that. I think it probably will come down to like a 3 to 7 point game. But I got the Broncos as well. Who do you got there, Sonia?
Yeah, I got the Broncos, and I got what's the point spread on them?
8.5.
They'll meet that. Today,
Well,
you
we
guys
just
know,
talk about winning and losing,
you
Sonia,
guys
now in the
know.
games. We don't care about the points spread.
Yeah.
Okay,
I just put it
well,
out there just to put it out
You
there.
know,
I
you
asked
can
that for.
mention it, yeah, but that's not what we're basing the picks on.
Well, I asked for a reason. I'm about to make a point, Jack. Hang tight. Hang on to your britches. Listen. So there's a reason why I said what's the point spread, and then I said they will make that. Today is in case. Well, I told B and J Train on Friday. Today is Demarius Thomas Day. This is they are inducting him into the Ring of Honor for the Broncos. God bless him. They are also doing their Super Bowl 50 commemorative celebration. This is 10 years for them. They're going to have a stellar house of a lot of elite guests today, and they are going to try to show out to make sure that everybody knows that the Broncos are still the Broncos. With that being said, I think the score will be 34-13.
Okay. By the way, the Bolin family,
What in the hell?
by the way, the Bolin family, there's a little bit of a controversy. They weren't invited to this ceremony and all, and that's a bad look for the Denver Bronco organization. But then
I
on the
agree.
other hand, the reason they're still not the owners, the Bolin family, because they were fighting amongst themselves, which resulted in them selling the teams. And the way they brought it on to themselves by not being able to work things out. But it's a bad look when you think of what Pat Bolin meant to the Denver Bronco organization, not to invite his family, you know, to function. You know,
Yeah, that's not a very good look by
bad look.
Walmart.
Yeah,
Unless they didn't want to come.
they wanted to come, they weren't invited.
They wanted to come.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, they did want to come. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, bad luck.
Oh, who wouldn't want to come to their own? You know, we built this team for a Super Bowl. Who wouldn't come to that?
Yeah, that is
I
bad
picked the
luck.
Broncos as well. I still think it's the New York Giants are gonna cover that, or get below 8.5. That's for sure. The Colts at the Chargers is next. Who do you got, Jack? It's in LA.
Man, oh man, this is a game where if the Colts win this game, then they turn the corner with Daniel Jones. I'll acknowledge, give him very serious consideration to be a quarterback in the future. But with that said, listen, he's got the best running back in the NFL this season in Jonathan Taylor. Taylor's been the best in the NFL. I'm not talking about reputation, even though Taylor has a good reputation. Come on, you get a running back like that, an offensive line that's been working well. Daniel Jones has done very good with what he's had to work with, okay? Conversely, Justin Herbert's under constant pressure. The offensive line has been terrible for the Chargers. And with Joe Alt out, that makes it even more problematic. I mean, I think the Colts do go into LA, which isn't the best home base, as far as supporting a team. And they do beat the Chargers there in a high-scoring game, something like 31-28. And I'll give Daniel Jones credit if they do it. It means they would have turned the corner with him. Yeah, listen, he's more along the lines of a Geno Smith. Don't get carried away with Daniel Jones, but you can win with him. And if they continue to win this season and he plays well in the playoffs, even if they lose there, which they inevitably probably will do, I can move forward with him next year. I think the Colts win today, high-scoring game.
What you got, James?
It's in LA, and I think it's the Colts showed that they travel well and they played well against another LA team, and the Rams, but they lost, and I think they lost mainly because one of their players dropped the ball before he went to the end zone. So that's just saying significantly how good the Colts are. Offensively, I agree, Jack. They have weapons at every end, including the engine that runs it in Jonathan Taylor. So it will be, and Daniel Jones has shown that he can play. He can actually play. If you put pieces around him, if you give him the keys to a Ferrari, he knows how to drive it. Let's just put it that way. And so he's doing really well. And I think them not having some of the players in LA is pretty tough. But they are getting Mac. They're getting Mac back. Mac is coming. Mac is back. And so that might help their defense out. But
Yeah,
definitely return to Mac. I just still think that the Colts go there and get a win. It's still a win from LA, and LA still heads on their downward spiral.
and Tyler Warren, that tight end, let's give him his due. He's been outstanding this year. I mentioned Jonathan Taylor. So the weapons, they're around Daniel Jones, and he's been using them well. Give him credit. A lot of other quarterbacks wouldn't have used him as well as he has, and he's done things with his legs. So Daniel Jones is having, excellent season. That's why I'm kind of coming around a bit, but I need more evidence because I have a lot of negative evidence from the past.
Like Keith says to you, week 17 will be your evidence, I guess.
And I don't like to be. I told you so, Jack. I know you were mad that you didn't get Brock Bowers, but I knew the next guy that you probably should have got was Tyler Warren right afterwards. I thought he was just as good. He's a different style tight end.
Remember this year, we addressed the offensive line. So it wasn't a bad pick this year. I can't be upset about not getting. I wouldn't have been happy drafting Tyler Warren last year, even though he's turned out to be really, really good.
But you're still 0-6, sir.
Yeah.
And we're 0-7 after today.
Okay, Sonia. Speaking of which, who you got in this game? You got the Colts or the Chargers?
I think this is going to be a very important game to prove, like Jack said, basically show and prove who's who. If the Chargers win this, if the Colts win this game today, watch out. They literally are for real. I don't think we need to wait till week 17. I think the proof is already there. I definitely got them winning this game. It's going to be close, though. I'll say that. It's probably going to come down to the buzzer with a field goal attempt. So just look for that. Yep. And with that.
Another note. Trevarius Ward is out. They were already hurting in the secondary for the Colts, but he's out with his second concussion. He's out on IR for 4 games. So that might hurt them a little bit.
Yeah.
That's wild. And with that, guys, unfortunately, I got to hop off, but I'm so glad you guys welcomed me on today. Good seeing you all as well. I'll be on next week, Jack. I'll make sure I have all my assignments done early so we can see what, it's going to be.
I won't needle you. I won't needle you too much next week, when I see you.
Just know, Sonia, I'm the only one that picks your team. So happy Sunday.
Thank you. You know what, J-Train? Thank you. And that's why I always pick the Saints when they play all these garbage teams. So from now on, if y'all play the Lions, if y'all play the Jets, if y'all play the Patriots, and you haven't already played it, I'm going to be rooting for you on all those games, okay?
Thank you.
You said garbage teams. So you don't include the Lions in that conversation. Okay.
We got the same amount of we got the same amount of Super Bowl rings, so
we ain't talking about Super Bowl. We're talking about this season. Here you go. Don't start being a Dallas Cowboy fan. Don't start doing that.
Oh, I ain't
Go to
being
church.
No Cowboy
God bless
fan.
you. Go to church. God bless you.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good Sunday.
Take care.
You too.
Thanks, bye.